Greetings everyone. I'm going to try to be very calm in this video so the points that I have to make are not lost on you. In this time, it's very important that we stay calm because sometimes when we get angry, we miss out on the messages, we miss out on the lessons that we ought to learn. You have to be calm in your spirit because a lot of things are going to be deliberately put on you to make you angry, because there are people who understand how things work, and rage and fear have the same balance, and they will throw you off. People will deliberately do things to make you angry or deliberately do things to frighten you. And when you're in both of those states, you will not be able to operate. Let's say, for example, the idea that if a member of your household is ill, that person should be separate from you and be left to recover. Imagine at a time when you're most vulnerable, when that person needs you, they are left alone, or they hear you through a door or through a window, and people say, I will put things at their door. Let me tell you something. Any member of my household that is sick and that is scared, I would never isolate myself from such a person. If my children are sick and I'm going to get sick because I took care of them, so let it be. If my companion is ill, I am not talking to my companion through any door. I'm right up in there. I'm the one administering the medication that I am given from the Most High. I'm going to be there bathing the person and changing their clothes and helping them to feel better. If I get sick, I get sick. I don't care. When I took my vows, I meant them. Till death do us part. So at what point am I going to be separate from somebody who needs me when they're most vulnerable? I know what it's like to be at the hospital and having my partner push me around, taking me to the bathroom, help me in and out of my clothes. So when the time come, and if the time come, I'm going to be isolated. No disease, no danger of death can separate me from my loved ones. I'm going to be a present, a ever strong presence. And if I perish, I perish. I want to say that at this time in our history, we are really getting to see how things were done in the past, how things were allowed to continue. Because there's a saying, when terrible things are happening and people stand by and do nothing about it, and I'm paraphrasing here, it is one of the worst devastation. We're getting a chance to see the nature of the beast. We're often misguided and misled into thinking that the beast is this terrible monster. It's people's nature that we get to see. And those who are descendants of the beasts of the past continues to work today. And those who were like sheep in the past, they're sheep. Their descendants are sheep today. When you ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, please note that if you can't think for yourself in this time, or if your wisdom does not come from the spirits of your forebears, then I'm not sure what wisdom you're talking about. I want you to understand that because people go to university doesn't make them wise. They're book smart. Because take away the book from some of these ones and they can't think for themselves. And when they see people who are free thinkers, they will attack you. Because guess what? It forces them to think. See, when people are educated in this time, they're thinking that if they can quote some verse from another person, that makes them less than. But if you have a wisdom to stand on your own, to think on your own, of course, with the guidance of the Most High. Of course, in this time, the spirits are the ones that are going to ground you, that are going to keep you, that are going to protect you, that are going to teach you. That's the only wisdom I need from the spirits that surround me to say, move left, move right, say yes, say no. Because the guidance we're going to get from anyone you can see with your eyes these days, for the most part, might very well lead you astray. I'm very happy for everything that is happening in this time, as frightening as it can be, and as unfortunate as it is that many people have lost their lives. But the truth is, some of those who have gone on or transcend did not transcend because of some epidemic. It was their time. It was the end of their season. And so we can't lose track of that. Also, I'm noticing that deep is calling unto deep. So those who are on the surface, those individuals who are like the grains that drop on those rocky soil, they're finding each other. Those who are on fertile ground, they're finding each other. Those who are just about the pomp and ceremony, they're finding each other. Those who are just operating on the lowest frequency, they're finding each other. And so you have to make sure that you're aligning yourself with people who are of the same mind as yourself. And when you draw to people who are like you, so if you're materialistic, you draw to the materialistic people. If you're a spiritualist, you draw with people who are into spirituality. You don't waste your energy and your time preaching to doors and nails and knobs. And to people who think that I am so important, I'm so special. Let me always remind you about my specialness. Let me always remind you about how wonderful I am. And if you strip these ones from the education and strip them from the financial, wherewithal, you understand that they're nothing. And in this time, we get to see the characters who can be used to the detriment of others. And instead of just looking at them and just hating on them or just being angry with them, it's, you should say to yourself, okay, Ashe, this is where it's at. You really shouldn't be getting angry with anybody. When people present their truth, you see it for what it is. Doesn't mean you have to accept it. You see it for what it is, and you use that as a marker. So this one have this nature. Let me go left from this one. Move myself from this situation. Because we are getting to see people who we usually follow or support, and we see their nature. Instead of being angry, be grateful. When people come out and show themselves, believe them for who they are. And especially when they show you or they tell you this is who I am, accept them for who they are. Doesn't mean that acceptance means that you're going to stay around them and allow them to kill you. It just means that now that you know. This is not really the time for people to be laughing, because there's nothing funny going on. This is the time for you to be looking and nodding your head and saying, okay, plan your mean of escape. Because there's always a means of escape for yours, people. The thing gets grimy and it's getting stickier by the minute. But they're relying on us to remain in the flesh. And this is spiritual. These ones from the past who wanted power are the same descendants that want it now. And the kind of power that I want is one that keeps me grounded, that centers me into becoming a woman who is wise. Not in worldly ways, but wise in nature. Able to see the road to take when it's necessary for me to escape. Because that's where we're at. We're going to have to be vigilant and to be of the spirit of discernment, to hear and to know and to understand. And believe me, when it comes to financial wealth, it is very important for us to get this. So not only can we help ourselves, but we can help those who desire not just material things, but to build, to grow from strength to strength, to understand that when you have certain resources, you're able to do certain works. Don't let anybody separate you from your family. Okay? Stay blessed.